M2 N55 6-speed manual. This is a rarity. In for NVM stage 2 with CSF intercooler, BMS intake, forged charge pipe, and our shielded decat downpipe. So we just tried to plug in the M2, and for whatever reason it's not allowing communication, so that means something's blocking the OBD. Spoke to the customer and there's no alarms, immobilizers, any aftermarket products on there apart from a display gauge. But what we're going to do, we're going to go direct to the ECU, back it up, and then we'll work through it from that. While we investigate the kind of OBD issue, we're actually going to go straight to the actual ECU itself and bench read it to take a full backup and start a calibration, so that when we figured out what's going on with the OBD, we can then start loading on calibrations preset. That's the parts off the car, as you can see, intercooler, charge pipe and downpipe. The actual downpipe was a sports cat anyway, so it was utilising it on the stock ECU software. And obviously the M2 is like the MPPSK and it has larger air holding there, but still, nonetheless, it needs upgrading. The stock intercooler is the same as on a 116R. We've covered this so many times in vlogs, but yeah, the key points are upgraded intercooler so that we can run more boosts at the same kind of temperatures, intake for maximum airflow, charge pipe to stop the original one from cracking. When these cars overshoot even a little bit, it closes the throttle body and that causes pressure in the charge pipe, and the stacked plastic one can split. We're also upgrading the spark plugs to 97506 1 grade cooler and gapping them to 0.02 of an inch. But yeah, let's get it all on, bang it at the dyno and start tuning. Completely stock base run on this. We've actually had to disconnect the third-party power stroke kind of torque display gauge because that kicked into the CAN communication and was constantly causing issues and interruptions with data logging. But yeah, 369 brake horsepower, 547 newton meters of torque. Nice standard powers. I mean, it's got the full bolt-ons on there, so intake temperatures are nice and low. Downpipe means you get a bit of overshoot, which causes, looking at the data log, throttle body to close because of that overshoot. But ignition timing is nice and smooth with no timing pull. So it's an all-round good base to kind of get started before we start tuning on there. So at NVM, we are authorised to use BMW service schedules and tools. So that means we can read the key and update the key with the service data and on your iDrive, follow standardized procedure for BMW, and also update the software components if there is a software update for like the heads-up display or etc. I'll just show you how that works now. So once we've read the key, we actually go into the BMW system, we click on the key that we've just read, and it gives us full access data to all the fault codes and the service history of the vehicle. So for example, on this vehicle, it's got some dip beam left and right failures, engine levels okay, the temperature of the coolant currently is fine. If we have a look at the software as well, it's on the latest i-level software, so we know that it requires no further updates, and also there is a mapped up update for the navigations. But when the car comes in for a service, we actually update the service schedule via the online system, so we create a new service history record depending on what we've done to the vehicle. So if it's brake fluid, service, oil, etc. So on this car we're doing a full engine service and brake fluid service. We'll click on that, create the entry, and then we can transfer everything over wirelessly to the iDrive. But we still have to connect the vehicle to the BMW ISTA diagnostic system, so it authorises all the service schedule that we've just completed. So make sure you guys give us a call for all your BMW servicing, maintenance and repair. As you've probably seen, we follow all standardised procedures, use genuine fluids and filters, and update the iDrive system accordingly. The great thing is we are way cheaper than the dealerships, and we follow the same procedures, same quality and same inspection and diagnostics free of charge. So make sure you give us a call. Just our base stage 2 on there, and we have still got a bit of throttle closure. Again, no two cars are the same, so the turbocharger is reacting slightly different with the modifications that are on there, and also the fact that it's a 6-speed manual, so the DCT isn't withholding that torque load down. So we're gonna have to put a boost and a torque cap within the ECU to kind of control that and see what we can achieve today.
Wednesday the 5th of May. My hat is still on. So's is. We've got some BMWs to film.
So final results for this M2, 419 brake horsepower, 637 Newton meters of torque. If you have a look at the power and torque graph, nice smooth progressive torque coming from there, so it doesn't induce too much wheel spin and cause too much pressure on the stock clutch. I mean, the stock clutch is known to handle about 700 Newton meters, but if you drive them excessively or aggressively, they can fail prematurely. So we want to make this as usable as possible. At the top end, we have taken off a bit of ignition timing at the top. And that's purely because this car sees more track days than it does road. And for that reason, we're trying to make it as consistent back to back on our dyno, on the road and on track too.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.